Okay, hello. I show you how I progress in C++, introduced to C++ course by the screencast. Okay, how do I store player information into struct in my code? Here is my code, and I make structures over here, global arrays and structures, by first making a player structure, and then I create an array amount of players. Now it's 10, it should be like 1, but it's the same how many there are at this point. Create structure for the game, then there's a game structure where I stored information that is that game on, number of players, and then the difficulty of that game. And then there is a player calling a player struct by this kind of array. So I then make an int id pgame structure from struct from the game, and then I call the new game bool. That's for the next thing. And then I make the pointers for the player, number of players in that struct, then the char, the difficulty, and then there is a string where I take the player name by taking this structure through this structure, this array of structures, and call it the ID over there, and then there's the name from that structure, and so on. I collect the hits and the misses, and if the game is on, I make a pointer for that too. Then I also take a guess of that, store that information too in the player structure, and then I make the carry on. If someone is want to stop and another isn't, it is able in a further multiplayer game. So then there is asking a player amount. Okay, this will go to this one. This is the asking player amount, and I also made this kind of validations for integers and characters, which are now stored in here, where I validate that is that she a number, and then bring back an int if it's a number. That number I if it isn't a number, then I print out this one and then ignore. Then I clear the scene and ignore the numeric limits of max, and then this works fine. And else this isn't number, then I return the number, and so on. And the same thing for the character. Yeah, as a letter. Then I call these game on true if the players is a 1, else I bring back for asking for how many players, and that validation loop. Then there is I call every time by pointers those, so it's much easier to handle, and so on. Okay, that's for it. And also I make asking if player wants to start a new game. Then I would like to have a little so on for this game. Here it is. How many players? Okay, if it's like cuck, yeah, it might be invalid. 12. Oh, sorry, but there's too many. Sorry, but there's only 1. So starting game, enter name. Let's make Kimmo. And if there is something more, I have to bring E or H. If I put U, it gives also something else. Let's make hard game. So I guess a number, but if there isn't a number, must be also called that function. 12. Okay, well, I want yeah, and then I want to start continue the game. Yeah, and no. Okay, there is our statistics, and then do you want to start a new game? If I put yes, it's carry on, but let's put a no now, and it brings us 0. Return the 0 back. Okay, that's for it. Thank you.